you're in a meeting, you have to be perceived as the expert who is always ahead of the curve. Oh, Supro knows this. Or so know what the trend is and be forward thinking, the visionary who can kind of predict what your boss or your CIO or your CTO or whoever you work for would want next, not next week.
A lot of mid-career leaders who are watching here really want to, can really tell them what is it that it takes to move from that mid-career leader to the CISO or the CXO level.
So I think one thing is very important. You have to enjoy what you do. We spend a lot of time at work. If you're not enjoying it, you're in the wrong career. I'm sorry, but that's true. Because if you are not passionate about what you do, and if it doesn't show in through your work, you're not going to put in the effort. And effort is constant learning. Constant learning. You are learning every day. And I do that every day. I'm learning from my peers. I learn from a lot of interactions I have. I mean, every meeting when I see someone else presenting, I'm wondering, and if there's something they've done good, I write it down. Because you should be always learning from others. Never have the attitude you know it all, because you don't. None of us do. So be passionate about what you do, constant learning, follow the trends. What's happening? Okay. And that is done by a lot of reading. And the most important thing is to anticipate your organizational need. The ability to gauge expectation, project future demand, and have the strategic foresight is very, very important. So if you're in a meeting, you have to be perceived as the expert who is always ahead of the curve. Oh, Supro knows this, or Mudit knows this. I'm going to pick another name, Rajesh. Rajesh knows it, okay? Because he's always kind of reading and knowing about things. Like if this was a couple of years ago and there was a conversation about crypto, Rajesh is read up on crypto, and Rajesh can give us a thing. So know what the trend is, and try and be forward thinking, the visionary who can kind of predict what your boss or your CIO or your CTO or whoever you work for would want next, not next week, but next month, next quarter. So be ahead of the curve, prepare, okay? And when you go into that meeting, and if you have the data, now it doesn't have to be 100%, you don't have to be the PhD in it. Have a basic understanding so you can actually speak to it, right? Like, I'm just going to give you an example. All of you are kind of related to technology. India's just going through a whole Data Privacy Act, DPDP. What does DPDP mean for you? What does DPDP mean for your customers? Have you started working on helping your customers comply with DPDP? Have you, as an organization, come up with the plans to comply with DPDP? Now, take this conversation back. Today, yes, probably you have, because it's in rulemaking stage. Now, take this back 2 years ago, when DPDP drafts were coming out and there was discussion about it. And when this came up in some board meeting or in some other forum, you should have been the one saying, yeah, I think, we don't know the whole picture. Don't come across as someone that know it all. Again, humility is important. Say that I have a basic understanding of what they're trying to do over here. It's a bit like GDPR. Read up on GDPR. And GDPR does this. What the final rulemaking is might be a diluted version of GDPR in the Indian context. And what we want to do is try and have some of the requirements kind of build into our project starting today, so that we are not caught on the wrong foot. So if we start preparing today and we kind of put it into our projects, when this happens 2 years later, we would have been in a better position and be able to avail of and comply instead of it being a knee-jerk reaction. Okay, so if you have the data now and be able to speak to it, you are in a better position to kind of be the person that they choose in that meeting, because you're the one who's able to raise your hand, speak up, and probably you'll be chosen to roll out the plan. Now, everything that you see in companies some companies love you, but they also want to see what they can do for you. What you can do for them, okay? If you are the person, they don't have to go hire from outside. If you are the person that they can trust to do some of the work over here, you're in a much better position.